y me duele el alma. Lo siento.
There aren't many places where men are seen crying in public. Yet football stadiums are regularly full of sobbing men, hugging complete strangers, falling to their knees, even collapsing in disbelief. Some are players, most are fans. So what is it about football that triggers these emotions? The obvious answer is that football means a lot to them, but that doesn't explain everything. They care deeply about their marriages, their children, their parents, their jobs. Yet, many men struggle to express their emotions in these moments with the same intensity they display over a wrong foul call, or with the same tears they shed after their team wins a trophy. So why football? Part of the answer is that from an early age, boys in some cultures are taught the same lessons. Be strong, stay in control, don't cry, don't be weak. Showing anger, that's acceptable. Showing sadness, not so much. Sociologists describe this as hegemonic masculinity, the idea that being a real man means projecting toughness, emotional control, and self-reliance. In other words, some emotions are considered masculine, others are not. Football changes the equation, not because it makes men emotional, but because it somehow gives them permission to be. Football has long been coded as manly sport, one built on competition, physical strength, loyalty, and sacrifice. Inside that world, vulnerability doesn't weaken a man's identity, it strengthens it. A footballer crying after a final isn't remembered for losing control. He's remembered for how much he cared. A supporter sobbing in the stands isn't seen as fragile. He's seen as loyal, passionate, committed. In football and several other sports, tears don't undermine masculinity. They become proof of it. And that's why football looks so different from everyday life. The same man who struggles to say "I love you" may embrace a complete stranger after a last-minute goal. The same man who hides his tears at a funeral may openly weep after a cup final. The same man who spends years holding everything together may finally let go when the referee blows the final whistle. Because football doesn't change men, it changes the rules. But are those tears really about football?
Young men are suffering. They're feeling isolated, they're grappling with their masculinity and with their broader place in society. As real-world communities and mentorship declines, young men end up withdrawing, reluctant to talk or express their emotions.
Which raises another question. If men are bottling up so many emotions, what happens when they finally find a place where they can express them? Sometimes they are crying for football alone, but more often than not, they're crying about much more.
Tears were coming alone. Why, I don't know. But maybe they were they were there for a very long time.
In many cases, football seems to become the trigger, not necessarily the cause. The tears may belong to game, but they often carry something much bigger than the scoreline. Football didn't create those feelings. It simply gave them somewhere safe to exist and manifest. Because football doesn't ask men to stop being masculine. It simply expands what masculinity is allowed to look like.